Hey, Hop listeners, before we get things going today, we want to kick things off by giving a shout out to our friends over at FNX Fitness. We have talked about FNX before. It's been a while. You've heard us talk about them. It's the one-stop online shop helping you take your workout routine to the next level. We talk about them because we truly love their products. You can get supplements for pre-workout, recovery, protein, general nutrition. They've got gear. They've got shaker bottles. They have so much more over there. You know I love the vanilla milkshake whey protein. I talk about it all the time because it is truly the best protein I've ever had. You can make a smoothie, you can make a shake, you can throw it in some milk and it still tastes good. Look, if you want to drink beer like us, you got to keep your fitness in line, and FNX is here to help you do that. Head over to fnxfit.com, get 15% off your purchase using our exclusive promo code. You will enter HOPOD15 at checkout. That's HOPOD15 at checkout. You will save 15%, get a great deal, and get fit. Okay, let's drink some beer. Welcome into the Hop, the Craft Beer Podcast. We are back. It's your boy Stephen Humes here with Gabriel Apria, and it's Christmas time. That's what it is. It's officially Santa's here, and Thanksgiving's over, and we're gonna celebrate by going to the beach.
Hell yeah! Because nothing says Christmas like California beaches, surfing, and good beers to pair with it.
All right, I'm going to shut this off.
Keep it going for the entire episode. We are visiting Coronado Brewing Company out of good old California. Steven knows about them very well. I do not. I'm popping the Coronado cherry. I'm very excited, very pumped. We got two awesome beers. Particular styles that we enjoy. We're looking forward to it. Again, recording just a little bit early, so we're gonna focus on the beer in the brewery today. But we're very excited. Thank you for joining us. If you're on the treadmill, if you're on the couch, if you're still in bed, welcome. Grab a beer, grab yourself, grab some coffee. Do what you gotta do.
Grab yourself. Most importantly. Coronado Brewing is one of the best to do this with. We are recording a little early, so we have a little more space, a little more freedom. We're a little looser. And I love it because I love Coronado Brewing, and I'm excited to talk about them. One of my favorite places in the United States is Key West, Florida, because it's like being in the Caribbean, but without changing like your plugs, and you don't need a passport. Coronado Island in San Diego is a close second, though. It's this... You know, it's off of San Diego. It's about as close as you can get to the Pacific Ocean. There's like a military base there, and it's just this like stretch of San Diego that, man, I love it down there. And there's a brewery on the island, and that's where we land today.
Just remember, guys, you won't need to change your plugs. Don't take that out of context.
You can have island life without changing your plugs. That's what I'm telling people. But Coronado Brewing...
We need to make those t-shirts. I'm just saying.
You don't have to change your plugs. But it's a brewery that also has been around for a really long time, has a great story, has great beers, and just a great overall vibe. So I'm excited to do it. And, you know, is it the spirit of the season? No, but I don't like the cold. So that's what we're doing. We're going on vacation.
I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm pumped. Steven said, Gabe, I have LA beer or California beer for you. And I said, great. And we did research. There's a mermaid in the logo. And we said, let's do it in December because what better than that? Because why not?
So we are the Hop, the Craft Beer Podcast. If you haven't listened before, welcome to it. It only took you 155 episodes to get hip. You can find us on social media at the HO Podcast on Instagram and X. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube. We are a video show. You can see us, the breweries, the beers, everything about us in video form. Just search for the Hop, a Craft Beer Podcast. When you find us, you're going to want to subscribe. You're going to want to click the little bell. It's going to let you know whenever episodes go live and all that kind of stuff. Rate, review, tell your friends, tell your family. We're on every podcast platform that you can think of. And engage with us. We appreciate it. We appreciate your reviews. We appreciate your emails letting us know what you want to hear on the show. That is how you make the show better for yourselves each and every week. So please keep it coming. We love to hear from you. Thanks.
Let us know what breweries to hit up next. Let us know what breweries to repeat. Let us know if you've already started your Christmas shopping. Or if you're like me, you tend to wait a little bit too long and you stress out about it all throughout December. Yay! Where are they?
Yay! Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's what I was saying.
Like, you know, because it's now that I've got future in-laws, I'm going to be shopping for that side of the family too. So
the things you don't think of, unintended consequences.
They all deserve it. They're all very nice, and I'm just looking forward to multiple celebrations of the holiday. But we're not there yet.
Well, we're getting close. Do I even hit this button? We don't really have news to talk about, but I don't know how to get out. I don't know how to progress the show forward without hitting the button. So,
I think smash that button.
Let's
just
smash
as hard
it.
as you can.
Beer news.
Yeah, we don't really have any news.
Beer news. We don't have any.
Anyway,
Shit.
a toast. No, we as Gabe said, you know, we're recording a bit early, so anything that we missed, that any massive shakeups in the beer world that happen during our prematureness, we'll cover next time we're on the mics. But it's, you know, we can talk about some trends. It's December, and it is time, unlike what we're doing today, for you to get your hands on some winter beers, some darker beers. The porters, the stouts are here. You know, you see those spice beers, the ginger, the Anchor puts out their Christmas ale, which I love. At least, you know, while supplies last over at
While
Anchor.
supplies last, yeah. You want the festive stuff. You want the limited edition ones, the barley wine, the barrel aged Christmas.
Bang! Exclamation point!
That will certainly put an exclamation point on your evening.
Utopias comes out this time of year. That's like, Gabe and I have, I don't know.
That's a dream.
There's maybe 2 or 3 white whales of beer that we haven't yet accomplished. One is Russian River Pliny the Younger.
Yeah.
We need to get our hands on that. And then Utopias is a big one. And that's, if you're not familiar, it's Sam Adams makes it. It's like a blend of all different kinds of beers, and it's like 23% alcohol, and it's like $15 for a shot or something.
Yeah. That's it's insane, but I would like to try it. That would be an episode and a video. Like, obviously we record our episodes, but that would be like we gotta sit.
That'd be a special event.
Yeah, that would be like a
live stream.
We out here, fam.
Yeah.
You know? So we'll work on it. We'll do what we got to do.
What we can tell you about, though, is some exciting something exciting that happened last month out of our home state. Our good hometown brewery, Two Roads Brewing, largest brewer in Connecticut, teamed up with none other than Guy Fieri. Yes, I'm talking about the Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives guy. They made an RTD, and we're gonna just talk about it for a second. It's a flavored malt beverage. It's called Flavortown Spiked Fruit Punch, and it's 6% ABV, and it's Hawaiian Punch, but with booze in it. Thoughts?
Hi, I'm Guy Fieri. We're rolling out. No, Guy Fieri is like, he is kind of the man in a way. He's a hardcore Raiders fan, so I have a problem with him right off the bat. But his show is pretty great. But this is cool. I mean, it's with Two Roads, so you know it's going to be good. It's called Flavortown because that is Guy Fieri's brand. But it's quote, it likens back to a Hawaiian Punch for all intents and purposes. Okay,
yeah.
6%. I wonder, is it tequila? Is it vodka? What is it? Is it grain alcohol?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more akin to like like beer, you know, or like Mike's Hard Lemonade. It's like, I don't think it's got like liquor in it. I think it's more just like whatever alcohol is produced when, you know, whatever you call that, when alcohol is produced when you brew stuff. I think it's more similar to that. Guy Fieri is he's found a home in the Nutmeg State. He opened a restaurant at one of the casinos. We're big on our casinos in Connecticut. If you've never been, we're home to some of the bigger casinos in the country, and he opened a restaurant at one of them, and I've been to it. It was.
How was it? Be honest.
It was what you expect. It was exactly
it was the best thing you ever ate.
Guy Fieri, like, I feel like I've talked about this on the show before. He makes me laugh because he like doesn't really know, like, he's not a chef. Like, he doesn't know anything about food at all.
Exactly. The best part of his show is, like, you watch these Food Network shows and it's like, you know, I really found the acidity was not on par. I think if you added this in, and then he's up there and he's just like, wow, this burger's got cheese on it. It's awesome, man.
Exactly. And that's everything he tries.
And gives the chef a fist bump, and then it goes to commercial.
That's everything he tries. Like, he'll eat a burger and it'll be like, it's awesome. You got a bun. You got lettuce on top of the bun. You got that burger right in the middle. It's nice and juicy, exactly the way you want it. Flavortown. Boom. And you're like...
I learned nothing, Guy.
Anybody could have done that.
Yeah.
But you have a brand, and I'm kind of here for it.
But he has a certain look. He has a certain style. He drives a convertible in every episode. He gets some of his friends to come on the show. And every now and again, he's kind of the centerpiece to the chef. Like, whenever he goes into a restaurant or a food car or whatever it is, he always kind of takes a back seat, and they display the ingredients, how much, and... like, they're the ones that it's like, oh, I'm learning from you. And he's just the guy trying it.
Yes, totally. And he has a fun brand, and he's made it accessible, and it's all exciting. His restaurant is exactly what you'd expect. You know, the menu features things like garbage can fries, you know, things like that you're just like, yeah, that checks out.
Garbage can fries.
Just like fries in like a bucket with like a bunch of like loaded fries, basically. But like, He calls them that. Flavortown Spiked Fruit Punch coming out of Two Roads, Connecticut. Maybe it'll be a hit. Maybe it'll go the way of the Travis Scott seltzer.
Ooh,
what was that?
Cacti. Rest in peace, Cacti. That was a tough episode to get through.
Ew.
Yeah, I remember that strawberry one. I was like, I'm drinking chemicals and I can't see out of my left eye. Steven, we have to move on.
That was, if you're not familiar, Round 71, if you want to go check that out, feel free.
Oh, man.
Well, no news to talk about, but Guy Fieri's making drinks. Gabe?
Yes.
I propose that you propose a toast.
I have a toast, and it's for Guy Fieri. Are we ready?
Bring it on.
Coronado Brewing, we're on the beach, they're surfing. So I found a poem by Judith Wright called The Surfer, and it goes a little something like this. He thrust his joy against the weight of the sea, climbed through, slid under those long banks of foam. How his brown strength drove through the hollow and coil of green through wires of water. Muscle of arm thrust down long muscled water, and swimming so went out of sight. Where mortal, masterful, frail, the gulls went wheeling in air as he and water with delight. Turn home, the sun goes down, swimmer, turn home. Last leaf of gold vanishes from the sea curve. Take the big roller's shoulder, speed and serve. Come to the long beach home like a gull diving. For on the sand, the gray wolf sea lies, snarling. Cold twilight wind splits the waves' hair and shows the bones they worry in their wolf teeth. Ah! Oh, wind blows and sea crouches on sand, fawning and mouthing, drops there and snatches again, drops and again snatches its broken toys, its whitened pebbles and shells.
Can I ask you something? Is my mind in the gutter, or was that a deeply sensual poem that made me that was a little NSFW in my head? But
I got a little hot and bothered. I'm not going to lie. Judith knows what they're doing. So
Judith had a lot of muscles and thrusting. That's all I'm saying. I heard thrust like over and over again. There was a lot of wet sliding and thrusting and muscles.
So I found this a couple days ago, and I read over it, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool. Like, let's do this." And then reading it just now, I was like, "Oh, well, dude, I mean,
okay.
We're in it now, Alexis. Keep going."
At least it's not just me. I just wanted to. I'm like, maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe this is just about a nice day at the beach. But I was.
He thrust his joy against the weight of the sea. Oh, I'm sure he did.
Exactly. Well, that stirred something in me, and I thank you for that, and I thank you and Judith.
We do what we can.
All right, let's go to the island. Let's drink some beer.
Let's get some mango.
Yeah, we're kicking things off with so I've been to this brewery and I've had a lot of their beers before, but when I saw this one, I was like, oh, this is something different, something I hadn't seen before, something I am excited about. We're starting with their Mango Farm Hazy IPA. This is an ale brewed with mango and lactose, and there's mango flavoring added as well. It is 6.8% ABV. IBUs are at 55. Beer Advocate has it at 88. Untapped at 3.79. Here it is in the glass. I have me a Coronado Brewing glass. That doesn't happen all that often.
Hashtag on brand.
Fun. And
I got Tyrion today.
You got Tyrion. He drinks and he knows things. And in the glass, it's golden. It looks like sunshine appropriately. SRM chart, I'd probably put it around maybe a 6 or 7. It's not very hazy. It's more cloudy to me.
But I can't see through it, but it's not. I would call it cloudy as well.
Mm-hmm. And it's got like it poured like I would say a pretty thick kind of foamy off-white head with some decent retention. Has receded, but there's some good like lacing in the glass you can kind of see, and there's some foam lingering. She's there. It's down to clown.
It's down to clown. It's down for whatever. It showed up to the party and wants to have a good time. Very excited for this one. Mango beers. Beers with mango, beers added mango, things of that nature. This one was described as an ale brewed with mango and lactose with mango flavoring added. I love it. I love mango flavored things. I think they go really well in beer. I don't know. I can't say that for all fruits, but mango is a good one for type of sprucing up the drink, you know?
Yeah, I mean, mango plays really well into the hazy IPA, the juicy IPA style because of those tropical notes. They have another beer in their art series called the Mango Sprinkles Hazy IPA. But what really attracted me to this beer was the lactose, because I do like beers with lactose in it. I'm really interested in what that adjunct does to the beer. It technically would make it, I guess, a milkshake IPA, really. But it brings just a creaminess to the mouthfeel. It doesn't really do a whole lot to the flavor usually, but when I saw the addition of both mango and lactose, I was like, that's interesting. I want to get on board with that. So, yeah,
I'm excited. Right off the bat, on the nose, hard mango, hard tropical, hard sweetness. Very, very sweet up front. But it makes me feel like I should be drinking this on a beach, which is very correct and on brand. But it's got a little bit of that hoppiness that's kind of hidden in the background. But the sweetness really plays really nicely off of the smell right off the bat.
Yeah, it's sweet. I mean, the mango hits you hard, and it hits you in the face, and it says, do not rain on my parade. I'm here to, it's a mango, guava, all of that's a peach, nectar, like all the tropical citrus, kind of what you were saying, just like it hits you hard. The malt is backseating it, definitely.
Yeah, pineapple too, like you said. It's very strong. For those of you on YouTube, you can't really see the can because most of it is green screen green, as we like to call.
Yes. Or like a seafoam green almost, but it looks, there's just there's mangoes and slices of mangoes and some water and I
love their logo, Little Mermaid with a beer in her hand.
Yep, the mermaid is
delicious.
What it is. And the can says it's juicy, it's cloudy, it's tropical, it's hoppy, it's all those things. I think on the nose I do get a little bit of pininess, like from the hops as well. I mean, it's mostly citrus, but there is definitely sort of a piney earthiness, a little bit of like subtle dankness behind it, not in the way you would expect with like a West Coast IPA, but
6.8.
There's something there.
It's not light, it's not heavy, but it's right in the middle, so you would get a little bit of that off of it. So
yeah, and they brewed it this summer. It's not currently available, but it was when I bought it, and
Ayo.
So that's why we're able to drink it. Need we say more, or should we just dive into
mean, if
this?
the beer is down to clown, we should be as well.
Great.
Cheers.
From a Coronado Brewing glass.
Look at you, just
I
killing
know,
it.
almost never happens. And the reason I have this glass, I didn't say it, but I'm drinking out of it. It's kind of like, if you're not on YouTube, it's, I guess I would call it a pint glass. Sometimes I call it my tumbler. It's kind of the shape of like a can, but made out of a glass with the top
glasses,
cut off.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a glass like that. So that's kind of why I bought it, because I liked the shape, and it was a style that I don't normally have.
Yeah.
This beer is really good. It's sweet for sure, but not too sweet. The mango juice, I mean, it's definitely like, it's not just the hops that are bringing that tropical mango. It is the addition of like mango flavoring. So it's like hitting you hard with that, but I don't think it takes it over the top into like, like a flavor. Like, it's not like a beer with lemonade in it. Like, it's not that level of sweetness. We've had those before. It's an accent.
It's subtle enough that it adds to it without becoming too forward. It's still a beer at the end of the day. I agree. I think it's very sweet. The back end is all those tropical notes. It's got some really good carbonation to it. It's a little sudsy in the mouth, but it is a little creamy as well from the lactose. I was expecting a little more creaminess, to be quite honest, but I think it checks that box off 100%. This is another good flight beer. Most of them are, but sometimes you're just like, I just want to do this by itself. But like, I think this would be a fun flight episode, or a fun place to get a flight, because they have all different types and you want to kind of compare.
Oh yeah, they have so many different kinds of beer, but and this coming out of their farm series, they have their core series, and we'll talk about that a little more, but their farm series is there to kind of focus on the experimental, the different, let them sort of like play around with things like this. They say it pushes innovation, spurs creativity from the artistic brewers. So this being one of those. I would agree on the lactose. It's not as creamy as that could have been. I mean, it could have gone further in that direction. I think like if they had referred to this as a milkshake IPA, that would be sort of disingenuous. It's really subtle. There's like a little bit of like vanilla or something. It's a really subtle additional flavor along with the mango that I think is probably coming from that lactose being added. It's definitely somewhat creamy in the mouth, somewhat sort of fluffy, but it's not as creamy as it could have been, given that that's in there. So which is not a knock on it. It's just interesting. I agree. It's got a really nice carbonation. It drinks really well. It's fun. It's fruity. It's floral. It's festive. It's fucking great. How many F's?
You're just looking for another F.
I'm just,
I'm getting a lot of pineapple off of this too. This is definitely like, we need a little umbrella for the glass. I don't know how this would do outside. I guess these beers are meant to be drunk outside, because California. But this would be a good accent to maybe some food, maybe some like fruited dessert.
See, I was like, put me on the beach, but maybe I'm just like getting a little bit swayed by just where the brewery is. If you're on YouTube, you can take a look behind me at the exterior of said brewery. So to orient you, again, if you're in San Diego, you go over a bridge and you hit the island. That's Coronado Island. And where we are, like when I tell you that the beach is 1 block in this direction, like
nice.
1 block over there. There's kind of 2 different beaches on both sides. There's a Pacific Ocean side, and then there's the San Diego Bay side where you can look across the bay and see like Petco Park is right on the water there. You can see like there's you can see like buildings along the Petco Park being the main part of it where the daddies play.
Oh man, you beat me to it. I was gonna say, is Petco Park where the daddies play?
The daddies, the Padres. If you're not,
Steven loves to call the Padres the daddies, and he's not wrong.
I'm not wrong. What does father translate to? What does Padre translate to?
Daddy.
Father. And father, it's. I'm not far off. It's a great ballpark if you've never been. 10 out of 10 recommend. They serve Coronado beer in the ballpark, so
of course they do. They should. That checks out.
But so you can see the location, like I mean, especially in this picture behind me. Perfect, beautiful day. Brewery a block from the beach. There's this like shopping area along here, and you know all you want is to like grab a can of this, go set up a chair on the beach 1 block from here, and just.
Work that PTO, man.
And work that PTO hardcore. Get yourself a tan or a burn or whatever in between. But the beer, it's just, it's all those tropical notes, right? It's interesting because it's definitely more in line with like a New England IPA, but because the citrus and the tropical comes from the actual addition of mango as opposed to just using like Citra hops, it feels like something different to me.
Yeah.
Something a little different. Something a little bit like heavily juicy, heavily mango.
It's got a little more character to it than other similar styles, I would say. It's in its own world in a way, which is great.
Yeah, I think if you're someone who likes juicy IPAs, there's no reason that you wouldn't like this. It's not overly sweet. It just like really leans on the tropical, really brings forth the guava, the mango, the nectarine, the pineapple, as you said, the peach, all of that stuff is just like really hitting home in here. But it's delightful. It works. And even if you're not on a beach, if you're just like, I need just like a reliable option in my fridge, this is perfectly good IPA.
Yeah, I think you have to be in the mood for the mango flavoring, the mango taste. But if you like mango, you're gonna love this.
That's fair.
If you're allergic to mango, you might die. So don't drink it, idiots.
Can people be allergic to mango? Probably.
Well, if people can be allergic to nuts, people can be allergic to anything.
I don't understand the correlation there at all. We're talking about
Neither
a fruit
do I.
versus. Can you be allergic? You probably can. People probably can.
You can be allergic. Yeah, what can't you be allergic to?
Water.
You can't be allergic to water because you're made up of it. All right. Coronado Brewing. Stay coastal, as they say. They are a fun brewery out of California, as recently mentioned. They opened their doors in 96. They were started by Ron and Rick Chapman, brothers from, you guessed it, Coronado. They officially opened the doors in 96. They came from San Diego roots, and they wanted to bring forth what they know and love. And then distribution started 4 years later in 98 when they started selling this stuff outside of the brewery.
You stay classy, San Diego.
Yeah, stay classy, stay coastal. San Diego through and through. They opened in, like Gabe said, 96. So that's they've been around a long time, but they have opened a space now on the mainland too. They have like a big brewing facility on the mainland in San Diego. So that's allowed them to really expand their distribution network. They're definitely, obviously big in the San Diego area, which takes them up to the LA area. So I'm just very familiar with them, not only because I've been there and not only because, I like the area, but because their beers are up here and there's some of the best options I can get in LA. Truly.
But do you do trivia there?
I do not. But if they did trivia, Coronado Brewing, if you do trivia, next time I'm in town, I will see you there because I am always eggplant for a good trivia, if you know what I mean. Eggplant.
Oh, man.
But they say we're still sharing our passion for craft and celebrating our authentic coastal vibe, all inspired by San Diego roots. They also have garnered awards on awards on awards.
Yes, they have.
Since they've won, there it is, silver medal at the 2019 Gabe!
Great American Beer Festival silver medal for their freebooter barley wine. And they won a bronze for their Weekend Vibes IPA in the competition's second largest category.
Talk dirty to me with the barley wine. I love a brewery with a barley wine. You know how I feel about barley wines. There's
it's dope.
They're just it's a excellent beer style that you don't see enough of. And when I can get my hands on one and I'm in the mood, you have to be in the mood. Barley wines that's an intense drink. That's not like your every night situation. But if you, they're just very high alcohol. But I love a barley wine. So
get me in the mood for a barley wine. That should be like a commercial about like Tinder.
That's our next Tinder. That's our next Tinder. Get me in the mood for a barley wine.
I don't know. We'll
workshop that. It could be our next T-shirt, though. Where Gabe is, you can see the
hashtag eggplant.
That would be the hop T-shirt. The hop logo, hashtag eggplant.
Eggplant.
Or just hashtag and then the eggplant emoji. I don't know. We'll
add it to the list.
We'll offline this. Gabe is in the tap room. If you're on YouTube and you want to take a look at it, they have a sweet bar and some giant windows showing off their barrels. We're going to play them again because that's what we do.
Bang! Exclamation point!
When we talk about barrels.
Hi, Mike. Thanks for joining, Mike.
And that brings us to, they do have, and we'll talk about this a bit later, but that with barrels comes like experimental beers, sour beers, aged beers, different beer styles, and so they have a lot to offer. I would say their bread and butter is definitely IPAs. Gabe mentioned it's their Weekend Vibes, right? That's the name of it.
Yes.
Yeah. Gabe mentioned that. And so I would say that's a large part of what they do, but they have a experimental series. They have all different kinds of stuff that we'll talk about later, but the barrels are reminiscent of that. And their Salty Crew Blonde Ale is one that they're known for too. You see that everywhere around here. It's
with great barrels comes great responsibility, and Coronado Brewing stepped up to the plate. Oh yeah.
Nice.
See, what's funny is I thought you were going to say that, and then you didn't. So I was like, well, someone's got to do it.
It didn't even cross my mind, but now I'm like upset that I didn't think of it first. With great barrels comes great responsibility. Everything the light touches.
See this, son? Everything the light touches. Dad, it's all beer. Exactly.
One day all this will be yours. Well,
we won't give any spoilers about The Lion King in case you haven't seen it.
You know what? If we're spoiler alerting The Lion King, that's on you at this point.
If we're spoiler alerting The Lion King, you literally had no childhood or life.
Or haven't read Hamlet. Read a book. Okay. Okay. We need to move on to our next beer. Do you have any last thoughts to share about the Mango Farm before we get before we dip into the diaper?
Dip into the diaper. Mango Farm is solid. Mango Farm is sexy. It makes me want to run free. It makes me want to go to a beach and belly flop on the sand. Not really. Sand would be everywhere. I really like it. I think it's sweet, but in a good way. I think it really packs a punch, a mango punch, if you will. And it's just, we've had a lot of beers, like I said, in this specific style where it's like one specific fruit or tropical fruit is like really featured, but I feel like they did it really well here. So hats off to them.
I agree. I think the 6.8% ABV is, this beer is no slouch, but it's very drinkable. It's well balanced for what it is, but it definitely leans on the mango. I think that 6.8% ABV helps balance it out and helps sort of cut this what could be an overly sweet beer, and this is not that. I think it's a really solid beer put forth by them. I've enjoyed drinking it very much. If I saw it again, would I reach for it again? You bet I would. And that's all I can really ask from a good beer. So I like it, and I'm excited to see what else is in store. Where are we going next, Gabe?
Let's go to the diaper. We got a diaper to drink, and it's going to be sick, bro.
All right. We've got the Never Better. Oh, the same color in the green screen.
I shouldn't have picked such
mess.
green. I know.
It's all right. Never Better, the double IPA. It is, quote, unfiltered, tropical, and dank. We will see. 8.1% ABV, 65 IBUs. Beer Advocate gave it a 90. Untapped gave it a 3.83. And we also found Beer Connoisseur. That is not a French accent. I don't know what that was. I apologize. Beer Connoisseur gave it a 95. They really like this beer. It is really fun, really popular, and we're going to get into it. From the can, brewed with a vibrant blend of Vic Secret, Mosaic, and Citra, this Daipa is bursting with hop flavors of tropical mango, passion fruit, and resinous pine. One sip, and you'll go from good to, say it with me, Steven, never better.
Great. Oh, never better. I wasn't reading it with you. I didn't know where that was going.
Damn it.
I was, if I'm honest, I was just marveling over the head retention on this beer I just poured, because I poured it, and if you're on YouTube, you can take a look. It poured with a full, more than an inch of dense, foamy white head, and that has retained pretty well. It's slowly dissipating, but it is it's got some retention to it. And I feel like we don't talk very often about why we focus on that, but it's sort of it, and we're not scientists. So I can just tell you what I see when I see something like that, which is that this beer has got a sturdy body to it. This beer has got some strength. You typically see that kind of head retention with like Daipas or, rich stouts. It's got, or something with a little bit more meat on its bones, if you will. So I think you get what I'm saying.
This beer's got meat.
This beer's got meat. This episode is off the rails.
Good.
Okay.
As it should be.
I love this beer. I've had it before, and fully transparent about it. Why do I love it? Well, it's a solid Daipa, but there's another reason, and it's that they sell it in a 6-pack. Can we normalize this, please? Why?
Oh.
It comes in a 16-ounce can, and it's sold in a 6-pack.
6-pack. That's normally 4-pack. Joe.
Touchdown! Unbelievable!
I wish we could normalize this. I get it. Like, I understand. And like, typically a 6-pack, they're smaller cans. A 4-pack, they're larger cans. So I kind of understand it, but you never see a double IPA sold in 16-ounce cans in a 6-pack. And I would rather pay you a little more money to be able to purchase 6 beers at a time than have to buy in quantities of 4 or 8. It's just inconvenient. And so
that's like an investment at that point.
It's just, it doesn't last me as if I have 6 of them, it lasts me longer than I have 4 of them. It's that simple. And so, I just wish I would love to normalize putting beers in 6-packs again. That's a different conversation. It's also a very good double IPA, which has the Citra Mosaic with a little twist, Vic Secret. So that
Ooh.
makes it interesting.
Not to be confused with Victoria's Secret, because that is something different. No, people don't know. They hear Vic's Secret and they're like, underwear? No.
I've never even thought about it, but I mean, whoever named that hop had to have had that in their head, right? I mean,
somebody was like, they were like, all right, Carl, you can name this next one. And he was like, oh, finally, Victoria's Secret. We can't do that. Okay, Vic's Secret. Fine.
I don't
care.
Funny.
His dad owns the company. We can't tell him no.
That's why we have Gabe, to just like help us notice the things that just never. I've heard Vic's Secret hops 1,000 times. That's never crossed my mind, and that's an oversight on my end. That's on
This
me.
is the shit I think about while you listeners are at work.
Oh, okay. This is it in the glass. It is on the SRM chart, very similar in color to the last one, maybe a little bit darker, but similarly golden amber. SRM chart, I'm probably putting it around an 8 or a 9 on what I'm looking at. Maybe a 7. It's got a lot of bubbles coming up from the bottom. Once again, not hazy, but cloudy. It's not entirely see-through, but it looks more like a West Coast than a juicy New England. We've seen some really like opaque, hazy IPAs. This is not that to me.
It smells very like bitter. It smells dank, like they put on the can. I feel like it may not be a West Coast style, but we're definitely getting close to that on that end of things. But not getting a whole lot of like citrus or fruit, or they mentioned mango and passion fruit. I don't know that I'm getting that. I'm just getting like hops and dankness.
Well, I'm definitely getting some citrus, which makes sense with the citra hops that are in there in the mosaic. I think coming off of the heavily tropical beer that we were just drinking to go to this one, those notes tend to be a little bit more subtle, but they're in there. But to your point, there's an earthiness behind it. There's a definite dank quality to this. It's definitely more what you expect to smell when you put your face into an IPA. It definitely has that blend of citrus and dank hops, whereas the last one I think was sort of like mostly tropical citrus. This one is a marriage of the two. Once again, the malt not really a factor here. I mean, it's playing its role, but it's not coming to the forefront. It's not the star of the show. And in terms of the hops that are in there, though, like the citrus that I get, it is more tropical to me. I don't get a lot of like grapefruit or like pith. It's more like I do get some mango, some like candied citrus quality a little bit.
Yeah. Kind of like similar to like a tripa.
Yeah, I mean this is bump that ABV up just a little bit and we got ourselves a tripa.
But it's not a tripa or a quinta, it's a dipa.
It's not a tripa or a quinta, it's a dipa.
It's definitely not an IPA.
It's not an IPA. We're not started. That one doesn't work. Yeah.
That one doesn't. No. It's just IPA.
Yeah.
And then you can get fancy with it.
IPA and fun from there. Okay, we're going to drink it now.
All right.
Cheers.
Salud. I think it's good. I am getting West Coast vibes. If you want to call it a West Coast IPA or not, be all you can be, reach for the stars. But in my world, I would associate this with the West Coast style. I wouldn't even call it a West Coast style. I would just call it West Coasty. It is hoppy. I am getting a little bit of like orange peel. But again, for me personally, I'm not getting a lot of like citrus, a lot of specific notes. I'm getting a lot of hoppiness, earthiness, dankness, that resin pine sort of deal. With some semi-sweet notes in the background. Is that good? Is that bad? I don't really know. You have to look in the mirror and ask yourself that question, because only you can answer that and only you can prevent forest fires. But this beer is pretty solid and I don't know what's going on. No, it's good. I like it. I think I was expecting a little more like flavor profile, but I'm just, I'm getting dankness and I'm getting hoppiness, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Thank you, Smokey the Bear. I absolutely love this. It is definitely on the West Coast style to me. It's leads with the hoppiness, and the hoppiness brings the citrus. There's the hops are tropical in nature, but the dankness and the bitter and the bite of the hops is what is sort of a defining character to me. The malt, again, doesn't really, I mean, it's there to do a job, and it's doing a job, but it's an unsung hero. It's not coming to the forefront at all. The flavor is like, it hits you with some sweetness up front, and then it goes to the back of your mouth, and it just leaves, it digs its claws in and just leaves a little mark. And at 8.1, yeah, exactly. You just feel it on the way down. It's pretty bold. It's pretty, medium to full bodied. It's a nice, pleasing, pleasant carbonation. It leaves your mouth with like a lingering bite, a lingering bitterness, and at 8.1%, it rides the line between being, I mean, it's very drinkable. Like, you don't notice the booze in that sense. It's not like, oh, I need to be slow with this. But it's going to pack a punch in a hurry. So you do need to be a little bit careful with it. Maybe it's a little bit, it's not what we typically think of as dangerous. But it's
yeah, I agree with that. I don't know if I'd call it dangerous. I would call it like, it's
to be respected.
Heads up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, respected's better. I like it. I like the aftertaste though. I like the back end. It's dry. It's got the bitterness. It's a little bit like kind of bready in a way, but there is a little bit of flavor once it's gone that lingers. That kind of adds to. I feel like that lingering flavor adds to the more sips you take, because it adds on and it brings it more forward. It's literally a science experiment. Beer is science, people.
And it's Gabe will talk about the can art in a second, but the can art is these kind of like waves, and they're in green with like palm trees at the bottom and people with surfboards and stuff. And the reason I bring that up is because that is basically the exact same can art that's on the Weekend Vibes IPA, which is the one that they won their bronze medal at the for. So
sound like a ghost.
So this is just like a graduation of that, sometimes I like to say like, this is if the Weekend Vibes is Squirtle, this is
you got this. I believe in you.
Shit. War Turtle?
Yes, correctamundo.
Yes, let's go.
Yay! Who's the third one, though?
That one is Blastoise. I know that one.
There we go. That one's easy. Yeah.
We are nerds. So it's great.
I will say this though, the level that we're not on, and I don't know why this comes up on my Instagram. You ever see those videos of like people opening a deck of cards? And they do it like on camera, and they get like a specific. They get like the Pikachu, and they're like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, I say that we are nerds, but the truth of the matter is we are the least. Like, I mean, we sound like nerds when we talk about beer. I get that, but when it comes to like Pokemon, I know the OGs. Okay, I know a few of the ones that were on the Game Boy when I was a kid. There are people who are really into this stuff, and that's not us.
You gotta sell those. I gotta sell my cards and make a fortune. Apparently, they're all worth X-teen amount of dollars. So I still have them from childhood, and one day I'm gonna pull the plug and just count. You and I are gonna be drinking these beers on our yacht.
Everybody has their nerd. We're nerds for beer. Somebody's nerds for Pokemon cards. People are into Marvel baseball card. Whatever your thing is. We're not here to yuck your yum.
Sticky notes. We're not here to judge.
Sticky notes. Okay.
They're in front of me. That's just the first thing I thought.
We always record the hop with a hefty amount of sticky notes in front of us. It's part of our process, peeling back the curtain.
There we go.
All right. It's time for us to move on from the beer, get Bob Ross involved, because he's been waiting in the wings patiently like he always does. His call time is the same as our call time, but he doesn't go on for like 45 minutes. It's weird.
He's on after the intermission, so he can show up late.
But he's here now, and it's time for Can Arts and Crafts.
Can Art and Crafts.
All right, this Can Arts and Crafts is going to be fun for all you YouTubers because you can't see the cans because of the green screen. We're going to start with the Mango Farm. All right, so the Coronado Brewing Company logo. Right off the bat, it's dope. We've got a mermaid swimming in the ocean with a beer stein and the foam kind of resembling her hair. And it looks really cool, and I'm into it. Brownie points for you. The Mango Farm, we got some yellow mangoes across a green lit background. Mango Farm Hazy IPA, big, bold, beautiful letters. I don't think you can mistake this for any other brewery. The Never Better Daipa. Same thing, except we've got some green waves like Steven mentioned. And at the very bottom, we've got some silhouettes of some surfers. One of them is doing the Hang 10 sign. I give extra points for that as well. Pretty similar cans, pretty simple cans, nothing too crazy about it, but again, that Coronado Brewing logo is one that you will remember, you will think about for time to come. Bob Ross is here. Bob Ross likes to hang 10. He likes to surf, and I think him and I are both going to give these combined effort of like an 8.7 and a 9.0. They're solid. They're dope. They're here. It's there. Bob Ross is going to go surfing now. Surfing apparently is pretty hard, but it's also going to be in the Olympics. So who better than us and who better than Bob Ross? But that's another great edition of Can Arts and Crafts, baby.
So what's on tap? What's available right now for you? We mentioned both the Salty Crew and the Weekend Vibes, staples of what they do. Salty Crew, you will know it because it's just the can art's a little different from other can art. It kind of looks like your like nerdy friend in college who rode crew. It's like blue and white, like it's like vineyard vines. It's just very navy blue and white. It's just very straightforward. Whoever's drinking a Salty Crew is like wearing Docksiders and like Vineyard Vines. Weekend Vibes IPA is great. They have a Japanese lager. They have another double IPA called the Big Weekend. And that one is 8.8% ABV, so a little bit more punch than what we're drinking right now.
If you don't like beer, why are you listening to us? But if you don't and you want something different, they do have their own hard cider series. We're looking at Nice and Dry, purely apple, classic apple cider, superfruit with acai berry. We're looking at hibiscus lime, limited release. It's a hard cider with a hint of spice. I mean, they've got all different kinds, but they've got their cider. And then in terms of beer, the website wasn't working last time, and now it is, which is great. But they've got their art series as well as their core series. I wanted to give another one quick shout out to their Tropical Dark Room IPA. It is a sour IPA with kiwi. Wowzers. That sounds fun.
In their art series, they have something we've never even come across on the hop in our entire 4-year tenure of weekly podcasting called their Electric Sunset, which is a Radler. That's cool. A Radler is similar to a Shandy. It's a beer that is half beer, half juice. So this particular one is a Radler brewed with lemon juice, blackberry puree, and elderflower. That's wild.
That's fun. I was literally about to be like, what the hell's a Radler?
I'm here for you. I'm here with I wouldn't let the people down. They have their Tiki Sunset, which is a kettle sour. They have a Margarita Goza, which if I'm going to reach for a sour, I prefer it to be a Goza myself. And they have a Brute IPA, which is fun.
Cosmic Ocean.
Yeah. So but that's what they have, and they're kind of rotating around their art series all the time, so always something different there. Obviously, we mentioned behind Gabe all the barrels they got going on. They're souring, they're aging, they are innovating, they are entertaining, they are
surfing.
They're surfing, and it's great. Coronado Brewing, I love them. I love the spot. I love the location. I love it, and I'm excited that we finally got them on the show. So thank you for allowing us to purchase your beers and then talk about you for an hour. All right.
Yay!
And with that, we need to get out of here because we got Christmas shopping to do. But before that, it's time for Last Call.
Last call.
So normally we have a funny story or something in the news, but as we are recording early, we didn't want to pick something and then have y'all say, oh, that was from a long time ago. So we are started to see commercials for the 2024 Olympics. They are coming to Paris, to Paris, and we're very excited for it. 2024 Olympics, they are going to be from... it's July. Crap. I had this in front of me.
NBC will tell you. Don't worry about when, but they're coming up.
Yeah.
We love the Olympics, and we've talked about the Olympics before on the show because we've seen several Olympics over our tenure here, including whenever they did the Summer Olympics. It wasn't 2020. It was like 2021 or something. And then
I think it was 2021.
And then we had the winter ones also. So
yeah,
we love the Olympics. This started, I would say, for us at the 2016 Olympics, which were was that Rio?
Rio.
We were living together at the time, and I don't know, we had some time on our hands, and it turns out that the Olympics, people always watch the main events, like the summer, everybody wants to watch the swimming, and everybody wants to watch like the diving. But here's a little secret from us at the Hop. If you turn on your TV at like 10 a.m. on a Tuesday, they're still playing sports. And that's where the good stuff is. Because that's where weird shit is happening. And that's where we live. And that brings us to what Gabe's about to talk about right now.
That was the best because we've always told the story about me throwing on the volleyball in the background. USA wasn't even playing. But I was like, all right, I got time to kill before work. Let me just throw on the volleyball. And like 5 minutes later, I was like, come on, you got to spike that shit. Like I got so into it.
This is when I learned that I, in fact, do have a love for sports. And because I didn't grow up that way. Like in a full transparency of me, I did not pay attention to sports when I was younger, really. And somehow something about the Olympics, I just learned like, oh, if I just have a stake in the game, I can get down with the best of them. And sports is like, now I understand. And I've talked about it before. Walking is my favorite. And I think it's catching on. And that's kind of a bummer to me because I like the fact that I was the only one that knew about it.
You were the one person that I was like, yeah, no one's watching this. Nah, Steven's watching it.
Hey, is anybody aware people are walking on national television right now? We might want to go.
Medals.
Yeah. People are into it now.
So they have the normal stuff, gymnastics, the swimming, the sailing, diving. They've got basketball. Sign me up. They've got
that's
soccer,
winter, right?
Or football.
Is basketball?
It says basketball, and then it says basketball 3-on-3, which is
cool.
I think going to be a little different this year. But they have added for additional sports. Skateboarding is on the list, but they had that last time, and skateboarding was a huge hit. I'm glad they're bringing it back. Surfing, very excited. I think that was on there last time as well, because I remember
surfing, yeah.
Dudes from Italy were like carving it up. I was like, wow, they must kill it over there. This one is called sport climbing, which is another fancy way of saying rock climbing, and I think what they're going to do is it's going to be like two guys go and whoever gets to the top and rings the bell first sort of deal. But there's one added sport that I am so excited for. On the website, it just says breaking, and it's breaking in the form of dance. Break dancing is going to be at the 2024 Paris Olympics. Can I get a hallelujah?
Bang! Exclamation point!
Close enough.
No, because I haven't programmed a hallelujah yet, but you can get that. Yeah, this is your bread and butter. This is
I for a very short period of time, my freshman year of college, I was in a breakdancing club. This is 100% true. This is 100% legit. I found out about this. I would go on like Tuesday nights to the local facility, and I would just go and try shit, and people would teach me stuff because I have my, like, I took hip hop, you know, I have that background, but breakdancing is a whole other beast. So
I have two questions.
Hit me.
Is there video footage, and is
No.
your fiance aware of this situation?
She's aware of the hip hop. I don't know if she's aware of the breakdancing club in college.
Okay.
She might be listening right now, so I'll have to debrief with her and get back to you. But apparently at the Buenos Aires 2018, it wasn't the Olympics, but it was the Youth Olympic Games. That's what it was. They had Youth Olympic Games, and so they introduced breaking, as they call it. And now it went over so well that they're adding it to the Olympic repertoire. And I just can't wait to see countries battling it out on the dance floor. And basically what they're going to do is they're going to have a men and women's event, and they're just going to have dancers compete and go one-on-one with each other. I promise you, I will be putting a reminder in my phone to turn on the TV. I don't care if it's 5 a.m. I'm going to turn on my TV to this and watch this. I am so excited. Breakdancing in the Olympics? Come on now.
They're also adding, I'm sure you've seen this, but football is coming to the Olympics 2028 when we hit Los Angeles. And
let's go, baby.
That makes me laugh because I'm like, what other country? I mean, what nobody else plays that. Like, it literally made me think, like, did like all the other countries, did we just get our wires crossed? Like, do they all think they're showing up to play soccer or something? Because I don't understand why anybody else would be like, yes, we'll come play the U.S. in football, which nobody else plays other than, I guess there's maybe some people do it in Canada. But like everywhere else in the world, football is played with your feet.
Yeah, Canada's going to be our biggest competition. And I'm sure during that meeting, they were like, no, flag football. And they were like, oh, yeah, we have flags in soccer. Yeah, it's fine. And then they showed up and they were like, oh. It's
so confusing to me. But breakdancing, sure, I'll watch, as alluded, I'll watch anything. I've watched sailing. I watched some surfing. That was kind of cool.
Surfing was good.
There's one weird one like in the Summer Olympics, they have like track and field events, right? So they do like what they call a triathlon, where they like, you know, they do a triathlon. But in the Winter Olympics, they have what they call a biathlon. And, you know, in my head, I go, oh, just 2 of the 3 sports. Not the case. They are on skis. And then for some reason, in the middle of their ski route, they stop skiing. They pull a rifle off their back and they just start shooting at shit. And I don't understand.
It's the funniest and best event.
Like, I don't understand how that biathlon, I mean, I guess a biathlon could be any 2 sports, but who thought of that? It's like, okay,
we're going to do skiing and I don't know, they got guns,
let's
right?
shoot. It's just the 2 most random things. It's like, okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to luge and then you're going to play basketball. I don't know. It's just like, it's so random. Yeah. It just doesn't go together.
It's so awesome though, because like,
you're going to figure skate and then you're going to kickbox.
Yeah, it's just like, what? Like, how do you go from one to the other? But they do it with, they get set up and they get their little scope and it's just like, pew, pew, pew. They shoot the little, I guess they're shooting little BBs, but yeah, I'm all for it. But in going back to flag football real quick, I don't know if you've seen the comments and tweets online, but they are quite literally hilarious because to your credit, other than maybe Canada, no other country really plays football that we're aware of that is as popular as American NFL football. So a lot of the comments have just been like, yeah, you're going to see like Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill cooking a bunch of construction workers from like Italy. And it's just like, yeah, bring it on. We'll take the gold.
Yeah. Well, also, we're talking, this is my thing, and this is the last thing I'll say, and then we have to go. But like, we're talking about 2028. Like it's at present 2023. We're talking 4 full years from now. They'll be getting ready for this. So like,
that's
love
true. They
you,
do have
Devontae
time.
Adams. Thank you for everything that you brought to the Green Bay Packers over your time. But like, that's like these running backs and these wide receivers are not playing in that game for the most part. And if they are, they won't be what they are right now. Tyreek Hill has already announced that he's going to retire in like a year and a half.
Yeah, but he's going to play flag football.
But he's going to come back to play flag. Cool. But he'll be like as old as like Adam, what's his face from the Panthers, who's like weirdly good this year.
Adam Thielen?
Yes. He'll be like as old as him.
I got a Thielen. I beat Steven with Adam Thielen. I texted him that in all caps. That was a fun day.
All right, we're going to go now. This is turning into a football podcast.
All right, so football and breakdancing. That's all you need to know. We're pumped for the Summer Olympics per usual.
That's on brand. Thank you, Coronado Brewing. Ladies and gentlemen, Thanksgiving is past. Christmas is here. Have a happy holiday season. We'll see you in a couple weeks with a Christmas-themed episode. And until then, we wish you happy shopping. We wish you the best. And if you get a chance to get to the beach this holiday season, it can only make your life better. So please do.
Say something nice, drink good beer, eggplant.
Eggplant.
Good night, everyone.